Hello, ugh, and welcome to the box room. It's an early morning. It is now. It's funny, I lost track. I think this is a workbench disc that I copied. I'm gonna pop this in. I'm gonna see if anything good happens. And it does seem to. There's a box of discs that I freshly opened. Never been opened before in probably 35 years or more. Okay. Funny, I had a disc here that said it was 1.3.2, and somebody wrote to me and said 1.3.2. I thought 1.3 was the latest, and I thought, yeah, well, probably, of course, Commodore probably had a bunch of stickers left over, and they just used them until it was time to print more. But there is a way, I seem to remember, with an Amiga, that if you go up here, special version. Okay. Yeah, if you go up to the top, hit the right button down, you go to special, you go to version. It'll tell you it's Kickstart version 34.5 and Workbench version 34.2. I don't know if any of the other discs I have around here. Ah, look at this. Here's another disc. 1.3.2. Now, is this one that I copied? I don't know. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do Control Amiga. I'm going to let this boot up. I don't imagine the changes were very vast, if there are changes. Anyway, they'll just let this boot up. And then I'm going to test, yes, another 1010 external Amiga 3.5-inch floppy disk drive. And where did I find this one? Well, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I need to get into. This wonderful fellow who is a genius, and it seems that he also hung out with a bunch of incredibly smart, genius people. And have done, programming and things forever and ever. Put up an ad online hoping he could find a good home for the Amiga stuff that he no longer was using, no longer wanted to keep, and such. So I said, yo, I'm your man. And so it is. So let's see. So this Amiga Workbench, it says 1.3.2. It also says on the disk, version 1.3. And I'm suspecting when we go to version, it's going to say Kickstart version 3.5. Yep, same thing. So I think this 1.3.2 isn't anything drastic. I think. Anyway, so I have connected this additional 1010 external drive. I've never tried it before. I took it out of a Rubbermaid box. Oh, lucky. And up comes the disc. And I am sure there are ways to check this better than what I might be about to do. I'm going to pop this disc out. I'm going to pop this disc in. Oh. Just a second, I've just seen. Oh, I guess I should close that off. Copy of Workbench. Alright, so I have see here, I'll do the version thing. Amiga version, Workbench version 1.3.2, revision 34.28. If you can see that. So there may be slight differences, probably documented somewhere on the internet. So just before I do what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this out. I'm going to pop this in. Well, not quite pop it in. I'm going to reboot and see if it actually comes up and says anything different on the version. We'll see. We will see. So we are waiting. It is now booting. I want to look at the screen as it boots up. See what it has to say. Release 1.3. Yes, it does say. Amiga Workbench, release 1.3.2, version 34.28. So there must be something has changed. Of course, now in today's world, machines just upgrade and update themselves. But back then it meant perhaps, well, with a major thing like a different kickstart, changing a chip. Except for the Amiga 1000, but I don't know that. Well, I know it was 1.2 and 1.3. I don't know what else there was. So once this has come alive, we'll look at the version. And indeed, it is 34.28. So I'm going to pop this disk in. It seems to be fine. It says it's a copy of Workbench. I'm going to slide this over so we can see it better. And I'm going to see about copying the entire disk onto the entire disk. And this should be a good way to see if this disk drive is working. And so far, so good. This one needs a little bit more of a magic eraser, and it might be a little bit yellowed. I can't really tell at this moment. But it's a miracle to find so many that are working. And I do know, also, the drives that are in these, except perhaps the one I have that's open, if you have an Amiga 1000 without a drive, or with a drive that's wonky, the internal drive, these drives will go in and fit perfectly and work just dandily. At least I seem to remember this, unless something has changed, but I don't think anything has changed. So, we are copying. And it's all good. We are a little bit more than halfway through. I have not forgotten the hard drive here that I am going to open up at some point. I still have to find the appropriate nut driver. Actually, someone asked me a wonderful question about my screwdriver, and that is if it had a J on the thing, meaning it was Japanese. And actually, this screwdriver here is not the right one. It does not fit. With Phillips screws, you really got to be careful because there's different size heads, and some of them fit really well. Like this one here, unmarked, just a generic whatever. These screws on the top of this hard drive fit absolutely perfectly. There is no wiggle, no waggle. Nothing at all. Okay, so now we have Workbench 1.3 and a copy of Workbench 1.3. Beautiful. Alright, I suppose I could, if I was so enchanted, rename. Delete. And actually, perhaps I will go to the extra trouble of calling this point 2. And maybe I will do the same here. Because it is. Now, I wonder if this one is write protected. I don't suspect it is. Volume 1.3 is write protected. So you know what that means? You gotta take the disk out. See the little hole? See, you can see through the hole. That means you can't write to the disk. So I will write enable so that I can rename. But if you really don't ever want to be able to write to a disk, don't do that. Okay. 1.3.2. Life is good. So we'll pop that out. And you know what? I have another disk here that I have marked at 1.3.2. I think I do. But anyway, I think I'm going to give this disk drive one more test here. And continue. So we'll let that go. And I will see you again. I have a couple of things to do, and I do want to test out some other disks. So we'll see you perhaps tomorrow. Until then, have a lovely, lovely day. By the way, I've lost track, but in case I will try and figure this out. Of the external 1010 drive, 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe at this moment I have 6 of them. 5 of them are intact. One of them is missing the front, and I think it has a whole other disk drive in it. And they all seem to be fine. How about that? Now, do I have more somewhere in a box somewhere, or boxes or something? Probably so. Anyway, thanks for coming. See you again soon. Bye for now.